This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, highlighting all of Section 3, interviewing the greatest local coaches and athletes. Brought to you by SummitCars.com, broadcasting in the ESPN studios. Here's your host, Mike Bristol, and Eagle Newspapers' Phil Blackwell.
All right, here we are on it. Phil, we've got a lot of great stuff this week, like usual, and Phil always putting together a terrific list of guests. How are you, pal?
Oh, busy. This is quite the time of year because not only are we into the regular season in spring sports, we're getting into the postseason. A lot of Section 3 boys lacrosse playoff games are taking place starting now, noon. A lot of quarterfinal games taking place, leading to semifinals Tuesday and championship games next Friday. We're already into that sort of thing. And the girls lacrosse sectional playoffs start early next week as well. And, of course, baseball and softball are finishing regular season. Track has gotten league championships. There's a lot going on.
All right, well, we've got some terrific guests this week. We're going to kick things off with our Aflac Spotlight interview members of the Cicero North Syracuse softball team. And as two time-defending Section 3 Class AA champions, the CNS Syracuse softball team are thinking of much bigger things this spring, namely a push for a state title. The North Stars 14-2, ranked number 9 in the state, and have just look at the competition, the power, the pitching. They're going to make that push just before the Section 3 playoffs start. CNS's 4 seniors, Brandon Feeney, Jordan Maldonado, Ali Safrada, and Ariana Corziante, all will be here in studio to chat with us a little bit about the softball.
2 years ago when they won the sectional title was a bit of a surprise because they weren't a favored team. Last year, they got better and better. This year, they've been an overwhelming favorite, and they've lived up to it. Corziante has become a solid, dependable ace most of the time. Feeney's one of the best power hitters in the area, but they've got a lineup full of people that can hurt you too. And Brooke Nicolas and Robardier. I mean, and you 1-9, they're strong. I mean, they're common of most of the good softball teams in this area, in that they're as dangerous at the plate as they are, and they don't lean on a dominant pitcher. They can just hit you to death, and that's what they're doing this season.
All right, what else, Phil? So then after that, we've got our SummitCars.com spotlight interview members of the Bishop Grimes baseball team. And we're nearing the end of the regular season for high school baseball, and one team to pay close attention to is Bishop Grimes Cobras. While the Cobras have a 10-6 record, it's gone 9-2 in league play and have won 7 games in a row with some excellent pitching and real quality at the top of its batting order. So let's think about it. How far can Grimes go in the postseason with this formula? Cobras head coach Ed Gray has joined us in studio with a couple of his top players, Joe Wyke, I think Matt Tardy, and Ben Rivet will all be here in studio.
With Grimes, I mean, they were one of those many different teams that got off to a slow start. They had some tough tests down at Myrtle Beach when they played. And then in late April, they beat Solvay. And ever since then, they haven't lost a game. With Wyke, they've got a really strong ace pitcher. The top of their order between with Tarby and Cifanelli and players like that have been really difficult to get out every time out. And they've got some tough games next week. But Grimes is one of those teams in Class B that, along with West Hill, Holland Patton, Canastota, can certainly be on the short list of contenders.
All right, and then after that, we've got our Wegmans winning spotlight interview with members of the Liverpool girls track and field team. And there's a real special season unfolding at Liverpool with girls track and field team. You got to look at this. The Warriors have not only had an undefeated regular season, it's just won the SCAC Metro Division Championship on its home track and has put up some big performances at different meets across the state. 4 of the Warriors' biggest stars are going to join us here in studio. Marissa Baskin, Jenna Schultz, Lauren Fredette, and Ann Gullo will all be here in studio.
Liverpool has become the most complete team in the area because they've got strong people in almost every discipline. Baskin is one of the top long and triple jumper probably in the area. You've got Schultz among a big group of distance runners who've already made an impact in cross country and have competed in the Nike Nationals in the fall. And now they're doing really well in the spring. But they've also got jumpers. I mean, the Sinclair sisters have been very good in the shot put, throwing events, high jump. Name the discipline. They've got superstars in those positions. A really strong Liverpool team that should have a lot of people in the state meet in a few weeks.
All right, when we get back, we're going to talk to Mark Burns for a couple of minutes, and we're going to go right to our Aflac interview with members of the Cicero North Syracuse softball. Yeah, I don't see a little bit easier CNS. So Cicero North Syracuse softball on deck next. Real quick, we're going to catch up with Mark Burns from the U.S. Army Syracuse Recruiting Battalion. Phil Blackwell, Mike Bristol, see you in a couple of minutes. ESPN Radio 97.7, 100.1. Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, presented by SummitCars.com.
This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com.
All right, here we are back on our good friend, Mr. Mark Burns, Circus Recruiting Battalion. What's up, Burnsy?
Good morning. Sorry I couldn't make it into the studio this morning. Out here at beautiful Mets Stadium here, and we've got some Army equipment on display.
All right, so that sounds like a wonderful day for you, hanging out and getting things done. So what's going on? Tell me about the day.
Well, they're going to have, right now, people are lining up because the first 1,000 people get a Tim Tebow bobblehead. So there's already lined up here, and the first pitch isn't until 1. We've got some great equipment set up out here. We've got, imagine you can stand behind a little gun, pull a lanyard, and send around 16 kilometers downrange.
Oh, that is...
and destroy an area the size of a parking lot. So we've got that on display.
Wow. We've
got the computers to help guide that round because you can't be off by too much. And by the way, if people are enlisting for that job or getting up to a $40,000 bonus to have that fun shooting that big gun.
Wow, that'd be pretty impressive and fun to do. So tell me about what else is on display, what else is going on, and you got to be excited for the beautiful sunny weather.
Oh, yeah. It's just, we were looking at the rain. It's great that seems like they're smiling on us, but the Air Force has a few displays. We've got a couple veterans being recognized, throwing out the first pitch. Got some of our outstanding soldiers here handing out information for anyone who's interested in serving or knows anybody who's serving. So it's going to be a big day. Oh, by the way, Sergeant Slaughter is going to be here also.
Oh, that's right, Sergeant Slaughter.
He's throwing out a first pitch also. So we're excited to be invited by the Mets and help them celebrate Armed Forces Day, and they've been a great partner in the past. Not as great as, inside high school sports, but great.
Yeah, how can you possibly compare anybody to inside high school sports?
Yeah.
And does it get any better to have Sergeant Slaughter out there? Now, is he going to talk about the old days with, like, Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant and the whole crew?
I think so. He's going to have I think he's doing autographs, so I think he'll be talking a little bit about that one-on-one. But he was a drill sergeant, actually, in the Marine Corps. So
Sergeant Slaughter was a good title for him.
Yes. He was. So it's going to be fun. Hopefully he can hit the catcher's mitt you're throwing. I don't know. I'm glad they don't ask me to throw out a first pitch. It looks like quite a distance from up here.
Yeah, I was wondering if Sergeant Slaughter's got the arm to get the ball there.
Well, we'll let you know. I'll text you a live report here at I think around 1 o'clock is when they do the first pitches.
That's perfect. Also, send me a picture of you and Slaughter together, please.
Yeah, well, that's where we'll put a bunch of them up on the. You want to see the pictures? We'll put them on the Syracuse Army Recruiting Battalion's Facebook page. And we'll be tweeting some stuff out, too. So,
all right, that's
looks
great.
like a great day. Next year, I need to get you out here. Really honor somebody.
Wouldn't be me. Phil would be the guy. Phil would be the
there
guy.
You go.
All right, what else? What else can we do, buddy? It's always great chat with you. I wish you were in studio, but sounds like a fun time. When does everything kick off?
I didn't get to stop by one of your sponsors there to pick up coffee this morning. But
I know, yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to doing some stuff. I don't know. Do you have a show next Saturday, being Memorial Day weekend? Or
yeah, we're going to do a show. Of course, Phil and I. Because we've only got, I think, one more after that, and then we're finishing up.
A couple more weeks.
Yeah, a couple more.
Goes by fast, and we got to figure out what we're going to do over the summer.
I know, right? All right, yeah, I was going to talk to you about that, but you and I can chat later about that. Obviously, great having you on. Thanks so much for taking a couple minutes and have fun with the Sarge and the rest of the crew out there.
All right. Take care of Phil.
Burnsy. Hey, Burnsy just gave you a shout-out.
Oh, thank you. Not sure for what, but thank you.
All right, see you, Burnsy.
All right, yep.
All right, a good buddy, Mark Burns here. Phil and I'll be right back. It's great to have Burnsy come on and talk about what he's got and what he's up to. Cicero North Syracuse softball team on deck in just a minute.
This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com.
All right, back in studio, Mike Bristol and the great Phil Blackwell. We're talking softball here. And it's always fun to have a great group of talented athletes here in studio, so let's get right to it. First of all, we got our Aflac Spotlight interview, members of North Syracuse softball team. The North Stars are 14-2, ranked number 9 in the state, and have been really, really incredible. So first of all, Brandy Feeney. What's up, Brandy?
Nothing much.
Nice and close to the microphone. Say hello to everybody one more time, a little bit louder.
Hi.
Good job. Ellie Sofrata. What's up, Ellie?
Not much. Hi, everybody.
All right. Jordan Maldonado. What's up, Jordan?
Nothing much. What's up, everyone?
Nice. And Ariana Corsanini.
Hi, everyone.
Good job. And everybody, Phil Blackwell, of course, the space shuttle shooting today. Very nice. All right, let's get right to it. Let's talk about the last two seasons, I guess, to this one. Let's talk about what's improved most in terms of team, in terms of its overall level of play. Brandy, let's go to you first. Talk about level of play and what's really increased.
Well, our team's gotten closer over the years, and we've definitely improved overall. A lot of pitchers have graduated over the years, so the pitching's not as strong, but we've definitely grown as a team, like hitting and pitching wise.
Yeah, and let's go right down the line. Jordan, how about you?
I think this team is very special. I think we all have a lot of confidence this year, and we've all been playing with each other for a really long time now. So our last year, senior year, like I think we want to go out with a bang, and that's always been our mindset. So I think that's why we've been doing really good.
Allie, how about you?
Our team chemistry has really grown over the years, and like Jordan said, it being our senior year, we've really all just grown closer, and we all have just the same dream in mind, and we all just really want to work hard and achieve it.
All right, down the line. Let's go.
This year, we definitely have a team that works together. We all get along. We all trust each other, so that definitely helps each other. We help each other out in the long run, so it's really good for us.
You guys, incredible job. All right, so we got our SummitCars.com spotlight interview. And let's go back down the line. Ariana, let's go to you. From the pitching in plenty of big games against tough opponents, what's the proper mentality you take? How do you really get focused? How do you keep things smooth and together?
Well, I just have to think that my team behind me is going to have my back, which they do every single game. I have to trust them. I do trust them. My catcher calls a really good game for me every game. So
And that would be Brandy.
Yeah,
That's right.
Brandy. So I just think working together is just what we do best.
All right, Brandy, talk about catching for her and kind of working together.
I love catching for her. It's easy. She doesn't throw a lot over my head. I don't really have to work that hard. She hits my glove most of the time, so it's easy catching for her.
So Phil and I had pointed this out, but Brandy, we know that you have plenty of power. Talk about the other girls in the lineup, who's improved their hitting this season, and how you guys really work on the hitting side.
Everybody in our lineup has improved a lot. We don't have one person in our lineup that's a weak hitter. We're all strong hitters, and we can all hit it over the fence at any point. So I think we're the most feared lineup in New York right now.
Wow, I like that. Phil, go ahead, jump in.
That's an important point to make because I remember back when I started covering this tough ball team way back when, it was always, dominant pitcher, poke across, speed, get someone on first, bunt them over, second, third, get a run or two home, and that would be that. That is not the case anymore, not in any level of softball that I've seen. Have you noticed that evolution over time, Brandy, especially about how the game has changed?
Yeah, it used to be the game of slap hitters, but now it's the game of power. Everybody has the power to hit it over the fence, especially with the new bats that are out, and the focus has shifted more towards hitting instead of pitching, so it's definitely changed a lot.
For that matter, you mentioned some of the others on this team. You would know this because and Ariana, this probably helped you as well. You have there's like Brooke Nicholas, who's been really doing well, and Robardier? How do you pronounce
Robadier.
Robadier. She has been a real emergence this season. Those players, that has got to give you so much more confidence than even if you had the last couple of years, right?
Yeah, our lineup is definitely one of the best that we've ever had. Every single person can hit the ball. There's not, as Brandy said, one weak person in the lineup. So that definitely helps us when we're in the field. We just have the confidence that we can get back in the game even if we're not in it.
Now, I wanted to mention that this season, though, a lot of people take trips south. You took a trip to Tennessee early in April. Explain what was that tournament like?
It was a really good experience. We usually do go down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. But this year we got to go to Tennessee and play some really tough teams. But we ended up being 5-0. And our chemistry from the first 5 games just was amazing.
Now, at the same time, there have been some starts that have not been 100% smooth either. I think of the Baldwinsville game a couple of weeks ago. What happened there?
Well, I don't know.
You can't explain it.
Teams sometimes just have rough games. I think we just had a rough game. I don't think we can.
I think that was a
Break
learning
it
experience.
down. Yeah, come on, let's go ahead. George, go ahead and talk a little bit about it. So break it down.
If anything, I'm not saying I'm happy we lost, but I'm saying we can learn from that game and what we need to work on. So that was a wake up call for us in a way. We need to learn where our weak spots are, what we need to focus on.
Brandy, you look like you're fired up about that right now. So let's go. Chime in.
They just had a good hitting game, but that game doesn't really mean anything in the long run. It's just one loss, but we're going to beat them in sectional finals when it matters.
There's not many games that our team doesn't hit well because, like Brandy said, we just have a really strong lineup. But that game, just some of us were off, and that really affected our overall game.
That being said, how important from a confidence standpoint was it last weekend to beat some really good teams like Boston Spa and Averill Park last weekend? How important was that?
Yeah. It was really important to all of us because it really proved to ourselves that as a team, like, we are just really strong and we can really beat anyone if we set our mind to it. And to top it all off, it was really nice to get revenge on Boston Spa.
Because Boston Spa beat them in the regionals last year and after they won the sectional title, so that was a payback type of game.
Yeah.
We'll go to Jordan again about the lineup. I mean, again, is he surprised you just how much the lineup has improved compared to even the last season?
Yeah. I think everyone in the lineup brings something to the team. Like, whether it be hitting, fielding, like whatever it may be. But this year is has been extra good for us because I think we all have a lot of more confidence this year, and confidence goes a long way. I mean, this sport is all mental too. So,
for example, I mean, you talked about how people have mentored you. Have you gotten a chance to get in touch or talk to Sydney O'Hara? I remember her from her state championship teams, and then she went on to a great career at SU. Were any of you able to get instruction from her or get advice from her?
Yeah, she was my hitting coach for a long time, and she actually coached me in 16U Renegades, so I've had a lot of instruction from her.
What was the most important thing she taught you?
To always believe in yourself and that you can achieve anything.
Allie, have you chimed in yet? Get over here. Get them more on the mic. When you look at the whole team, what's your aspect? How do you think things are right now?
Things are really great. Like we've mentioned, our team chemistry is just everything to us. And if one person maybe is having a bad game or something, we're always there to pick each other up. And if you don't get a hit, you can always bring your glove, and that's one of the most important things I've learned.
Oh yeah, no question about it. All right, Phil, what else we got?
Now, as you head into the postseason, is there still what do you think you still need to work on between now and the start of the postseason so that you're 100% ready for it?
I think we definitely can always get better at everything that we do. So we're just going to keep working hard and doing what we do. Practices, we go 100%. So it should show.
That's what I'm going to ask you, and then you can and you can answer this, Allie, or whatever. But practices, what are they like? They have to be really intense, I would think. Are they really intense, or what kind of intensity are we talking about?
Our practices, they are typically short because our team is very efficient and we get things done. And for for a short time, it is high intensity. We hit every day, so I think that also contributes to our really strong hitting team. And then we do field, if not every day, we field most practices too.
Mm-hmm. So now, as you do you feel a little bit of extra pressure because for you the senior year, but also the fact that it's still a fairly young team. It's not dependent on your seniors, but do you feel a little bit of extra pressure because you've won sectional titles? You want to take that next step. Do you feel extra pressure?
Not necessarily because, like Jordan said, it's all a mental game, and we just all go into the game like it's just a normal game. You can't really think oh, this is gonna be our last game. If you do that, it's gonna screw up your whole game. So we just always have the mentality that we're gonna play our best, and that's always working for us so far.
Yeah, I think confidence goes a big way in this sport. So I feel if we just keep doing what we're doing and being confident, then we will go a long way.
And Ariana, one more thing. How do you keep your arm strength going? In terms of pitching reps and make sure Gianna gives you a little bit of help from time to time. How do you make sure your arm's fine just in time for the postseason?
Definitely recovery. I have been pitching many days in a row just to get my arm used to pitching as many games as I can. Just ice and just keeping it strong for the team.
And I'm sure you're all heading to the college ranks. So where all you be going? Brandy, where are you going?
I'm going to St. Peter's University.
And Ariana, Jordan?
I'm going to SUNY Cortland.
And I see you're going to, I believe, where is that? Suffolk University?
I'm going to Suffolk University in Boston.
I thought Suffolk was Long Island. I'm no, Boston, but Suffolk University is pretty cool. And Ariana?
I'm going to St. John Fisher College.
Oh, St. Fisher's a great school. Anyway, one more question I would ask. What would it mean? Do you feel? Obviously, you hear from past players of what it would mean to get a state championship because they've happened many times before in the CNS program's history. What would it mean to add to that legacy of of what's already been a winning legacy?
It would just be amazing just for us to close out our senior year with a state title. A lot of us have been on this team for 3 to 5 years, so it'd just be great to close it out with a state title.
All right, let's do. Are you guys going down the line? Jordan, go ahead real quick.
That would honestly mean the world to us. I mean, we've been working so hard for so many years now, and ending it with a state title would just be like the best thing that could probably happen to us.
Allie, same thing.
And like you said, adding to the legacy, my mom was actually part of the first class to win the state championship.
Nice.
So so she always talks about how great it was. Yeah, so I think it would be awesome, especially for me to add to the legacy.
Ariana?
I just think the whole team, I think we all deserve it. We worked really hard this season and winning a state championship our senior year, and everyone else's year is just, it'll be amazing.
All right, our Athletic Spotlight interview, members of CNS softball team. Girls, give yourselves a big round of applause. All right, we'll be right back. We've got our SummitCars.com Spotlight interview, members of the Bishop Grimes baseball team next.
This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com.
All right, here we are back on. I'm Mike Bristol alongside with Phil Blackwell, and it's always great having Phil. Blake, you all right down there? My son there, he's eating a carrot. So we've got our SummitCars.com Spotlight interview, members of Bishop Grimes baseball team, and we just talked about Cobras have a 10-6 record. It's gone 9-2 in league play, won 7 games in a row. Some great pitching, great quality at the top here in the batting order. Ed Gray, their head coach, is here. Coach, what's going on? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
It's good to have you in studio. And Joe White, what's going on, Joe?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good to have you in here. Matt, what's happening?
I'm pretty good. How you doing?
Is it Matt, what is it, Tarley?
Tarby.
Tarby?
Yeah.
Nice. Ben Rivet, what's up, guys?
Hi, how are you?
Tarby. Phil sometimes writes, and I can't see the B.
First, I'd like to give a shout out to my grandpa, my grandma. Happy 73rd birthday.
All right.
Good job, Joe.
He figured out the show.
Good job, Joe. That was excellent. All right, Coach, let's go right into it. Let's talk about what clicked for your team the last few weeks, put together this win streaks, despite, I guess, some of the starts, some of the stops due to the weather here.
I mean, in all honesty, the weather hasn't affected us too much. We've kind of been lucky. We've been playing on the days where it hasn't been raining, and we've been able to get out there. But I think the biggest thing that helped us is going down. When we went to Myrtle Beach, we played some teams that were about 7 times the size of our school. We got to see some competition that we are rarely going to see up here. And the guys, as much as we struggled through it and didn't like kind of getting smacked around a little bit, we didn't really keep our tails between our legs. We kept getting better every day, and the leadership here, Ben, Joe, and Matt, along with David Cifinelli, who's not here today, kind of kept our younger guys in line and kept them their confidence up and kept them, going and prepared to play every day.
Don't worry, David was here before. It's okay.
All right. We got our
SummitCars.com
Spotlight interview. Coach, talk about Myrtle Beach, what you took from it. You talked about getting smacked around a little bit, but what did you guys learn?
Oh, I think for some of our guys who haven't been at the varsity level for longer than 3 games before we played down there, it allowed them to see how fast it is. We played some athletes down there that are incredible. They're playing baseball 9 months of the year. So I think there was one point where we had a routine ground ball to second base that the guy beat out just because he's getting down the line faster than what we're used to. And guys realize the speed of the game and what kind of the level we need to be at if we want to be the type of team in the last 7 games up north. So it was very influential. And these guys, they can talk about it too. It was tough, but with their leadership, they kept guys going and kept them upbeat. And every day we went to the ballpark, we weren't down, we weren't upset. Everyone wanted to be there, and we got better as a result of that.
Joe, talk about the season so far. Some of the ups, some of the downs. Where you guys are
at? Starting at the beginning of the season, that big win against Skinny Atlas was good, heading to Myrtle. But, them teams were pretty good down there. We got kind of smacked around, but the first game back, Homer, we had a good win, and then a bad loss to APW. But after that game, we've won 7 in a row, and I think we're right on track to win at least a couple more in a lot of sectional games.
Nice. Matt, how about go to you? I guess how early were you able to get outside practice in March, at least when compared to some of the past years here?
We didn't get out too late because we got out in the parking lot and did a lot of fly balls and ground ball work. Yep. But, our fields doesn't take water too well, so it's a little tough out there.
Ben, let's bounce to you here for a second. Let's go back to, I want to look at this, April 25th, 2 days after they lost to APW, beat Salve 3-2. Talk about the turning point, talk about that win.
I feel like after APW, we kind of realized what we needed to do to get back on track, and we
just locked in, and we've been focused ever since.
That's good. Coach, when you look at, overall where the team's at right now, how do you feel?
I mean, I'm confident. I mean, a lot of these guys and some of our guys might say that I err on the glass half empty at times, but I think we're in a good spot. We're getting quality pitching, and we're playing good defense. Knock on wood, we've had one error or less in our last 3-4 games, and that comes down to the leadership of the seniors I have and the guys coming to practice every day and working hard to get better because they want to get better and they don't want the season to end. So I think that's a big part of it.
Joe, let's talk about pitching, stepping up, being the guy on the team, the ace. What are you throwing? How's the speed? Mixing things up?
This off season, I just worked a lot with strength and pitching, and I realized if we wanted to be champions, then we needed another strong pitcher, and I just wanted to do that.
So talk about that. What are you throwing? What kind of jump? Mixing things up a little bit?
I throw in a little cutter and the changeup. Everybody's out ahead, and as long as I just keep doing what I'm doing and the defense does what we keep doing and our catcher keeps calling good signs, then I'll keep doing good.
Coach, how much influence do you have over what he's throwing and working with the catcher and all that kind of stuff?
I think I have a little. I tend to stay out of it because Ben and Joe and Matt. We were joking last game when Matt threw against Marcellus. Every time I called the pitch, it didn't work. So I kind of let them do their thing. But Ben's a senior. He didn't catch for us last year. He played third base, but he's caught a lot in his life, and he's a smart baseball player. So he sets these guys up to succeed as much as they have been getting ahead strike one and pound the strike zone right away, which again puts the hitters on the defensive.
Yeah, Phil, go ahead. Phil Blackwell, Eagle Newspaper.
I'm curious about this, Ben. You made the transition from third base to catching. How difficult is that? How much time does that take?
Honestly, before last year, I was playing a lot of catcher, in the summer and past years. So honestly, it wasn't that hard of a transition. It was kind of just getting back into the swing of it.
How easy is it to call games when it comes to having with your two main pitchers here?
Well, with these guys, they make it pretty easy for me. I mean, they just go out there, do what they got to do, and we win games.
That's nice to have that. At the front of the order, let's talk about it. So it's obviously Joe, you're there. David, Matt, Coach, talk about red hot these guys are right now.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, it's in David. Our lineup. If David was here, we'd have our top four guys right there, yep. And David, and Ben, Matt, and Joe. And it's almost like, unfortunately, if one guy is not hitting on that day, the other guy picks it up. And they've been clutch for us all year. Any pitcher we faced, anybody good, hard thrower, soft thrower, a guy who throws a lot of junk. They've been doing a fantastic job of setting the tone for the rest of our lineup, who has really kind of followed their lead.
Now next week you're going to be playing some pretty tough games. CBA, who goes up to Class A by the way for sectionals, but they're a top 10 team in the state in Class A, really good team. And then you face West Hill, who's always a year in year out contender. How important is it? I mean, I'll ask Joe this and Matt this. How important is it to play well next week, regardless of the results against those teams, before you hit the sectionals late next week?
I feel that we're ready, that we can beat those teams with whoever we throw. With our hitting and our great defense, we can come out and beat anybody.
Same question to Matt.
Yeah, I think if we just keep playing the way we've been playing, that we can hang with anybody and beat anybody.
Now you mentioned before you haven't had many errors the last few weeks. How much time in practice is devoted to defense in terms of making sure that's sharp? Because it's really rare, even at this level, to have only like one error in 4 or 5 games.
Well, when we come to practice every day, the worst word I hear is dailies, everybody. And we all get a partner and we do scoops and ground balls and flips, and we always make sure to keep the ball in, and we do some infield and we hit and we do all that good stuff.
Now you're going to get right into the playoffs. I mean, is it a bit of an advantage, and I'll ask the coach this, Matt, that some of the teams you might be facing haven't seen you this year? I mean, some in Class B. I mean, some have, but some haven't. How much of an advantage is that?
I mean, I think it's a big advantage, but baseball is one of the few sports where you can look online or look in a box score and kind of see what guys are doing. And in all honesty, with the majority of our team, they've been together for 2-3 years, and they play a ton of baseball during the summer. I mean, Joe and Matt and Ben. David as well. They've been involved in some Babe Ruth or travel ball and stuff like that. So they've played against a lot of the kids, and it's a familiarity thing for them.
And I think also you might go into the postseason maybe with a bit of a advantage in the sense that other teams have had more attention on them, like Holland Patton and Canastota have been ranked in the state top 10 all season. Not to mention that West Hill and Skinny Atlas have a lot of history as well. Is it almost like you're sneaking up on people, or is that too late? Everyone knows you now.
I don't know. We were joking around about it in the car. It's like, we've been kind of enjoying this little sneak attack we've been doing, because these guys, and I tell them every day, and I'm sure Joe and Ben will comment on it, and Matt too. I just say, listen, we just have to control what we control, win every inning, and whatever the outcome is the outcome. But we can't get too high, we can't get too low, and we'll see. We've faced some really good competition, and I think these guys are prepared, and they handle their business every day, and I'm there to keep it between the buoys.
At the same time, also, is it almost advantageous that you're staying in Class B? I mean, some teams, they play a certain amount of regular season games, and then they face a whole bunch of different teams in the playoffs. Is it an advantage or a disadvantage that you're playing similar teams in Class B once you get to sectionals, or not? I mean, some private schools get moved up or down. So,
I mean, I personally, I think it's good for us, because we know the teams we're playing. We know the type of teams we play. We know what they're going to do, and it also helps for us and the guys too, and myself and my coaching staff to see, okay, we've played similar opponents. Here's what the scores were, and it keeps them at ease. But it's something these guys are used to, and we'll go right after it.
All right. What do you think you need to improve between now? I'll ask the players. I'll ask Joe and Matt and those guys. Ben, what do you think you need to improve between now and the start of sectionals? Even though you don't have a lot of time, what could you still improve?
I think we can improve on timely hitting's one thing. Like sometimes we get men on base and then we don't cash the runs in, which is one of the things that I think we get better at. And maybe being on focus more. Against Marcellus, we went down 2-0 earlier in the season, or last year we just fold, but now we came back and we scored 9 runs. So if we just keep doing that, we've been doing that pretty good. So
kind of what Joe was saying, how we just need to stay on task. If we get punched in the mouth, as Coach would say, we just got to get right back up and fire right back at them.
And you have a couple of guys, I think, that play basketball, and they've been in games before. Once you get, are you brainstorming with them about how to deal with big time games and pressure situations? Some of your teammates have been in it, but maybe you haven't. So has there been some brainstorming about playing in big games? I mean, like I said, football's been playing in the Carrier Dome. Basketball's been playing championship games. I mean, are you brainstorming with those guys? I mean, all the guys at Grimes.
Well, throughout not just high school, throughout our whole lives, we've been playing in games with lots of pressure. So, with our togetherness and our friendship, that we can just pull it out and we can beat anybody.
All right. And are you brainstorming too with the other coaches? I mean, you got some pretty good resources over there, guys like Bob McKinney and others. So.
No, I mean, talking with Coach Mack and Coach Wade, in football, especially Coach Mack is a huge supporter of our program. He comes to a lot of the games. He talks to all these guys. And these guys, like Joe said, they've been there before. And they know we're only as good as we're going to be together. Don't quit on each other, keep each other upbeat. And like Joe said, we got down 2-0 at Marcellus, and guys didn't waver. We just, we kept our nose to the grind and scored 9 runs. It was just almost like a matter of time.
All right, great job. Let's go right around the board. Let's go all the way down. Let's get some shout-outs going.
He already did.
You already did the shout-outs?
He did one.
I shout out my Grammy again. Happy 73rd birthday. I'd like to shout out all my boys at Bishop Grimes. Love you.
It's prom night. It's important.
All right, my mom and dad, and my dog's birthday yesterday. She turned 10.
Nice.
Yep.
I want to give a shout out to my parents and my grandparents, especially my grandma, because I know she was excited for this today.
Just like to shout out everybody, that supported our team, my family, my Teresa and the girls, everyone who's kind of kept us going, and also people who come, watch our games and support these guys, and especially our parents for driving to Myrtle Beach and bringing them back and forth. And keeping. Oh yeah, we drive separately, so it's kind of a vacation for them. But
long drive.
Especially everyone in our program and the Bishop Grimes who's supporting these guys and keeping us going. But shout out to all them.
Bishop Grimes baseball. Give yourselves a big round of applause, fellas. Let's go. All right, on deck, Wegmans winning spotlight interview members of Liverpool girls track and field team. This is Athletic Insurance Inside High School Sports Show presented by SummitCars.com.
This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com.
All right, here we are back on the program. Mike Bristow with Phil Blackwell. And we talked about our Wegmans winning spotlight interview members of the Liverpool track and field team. And when you start looking at things, there's a real special season unfolding here at Liverpool, as we mentioned. So we got 4 of the Warriors' biggest stars to join us. Marissa Baskin. What's up, Marissa?
Nothing much.
All right. Jenna Schultz. What's up, Jenna?
Nothing much.
And Angulo. What's up, Angulo?
Nothing.
All right. Of course. Well, let's get right to it. So let's first of all talk about how special it is to be part of the team that seems to excel in every way. Sprints, distance races, jumps, throwing events. Marissa, let's go to you first. Talk about it.
It's exciting. There's a lot of great people. It's great to see everyone PR and do their best. And everyone's really focused and they love running, and we all very dedicated.
Now, let's start with Jenna a little bit, because we know her from her cross-country days and the team that made it to Nike Nationals, among other things. You've had all kinds of things in cross-country. Do you think the efforts of that team rubbed off both indoors and outdoors with this group of athletes? Do you think they saw what you did and they thought, wow, they could do it too? Do you think it rubbed off?
Yeah, I think after we had a pretty successful cross-country season, we just wanted to come in to track and do the same thing and just keep getting better and make the team better. So, yeah, I think it definitely rubbed off.
How many of those, do all the cross-country runners do outdoor as well?
Yeah, most of them. We have one that plays lacrosse, but all of us run.
And now let's go to Marissa again a little bit. What's the best that we all see that you've been really, really good at the long jump and triple jump. I see some of the numbers this season. What's your best ever in the long jump? What's your best you've ever done that?
18.53.
Was that on Thursday, by the way?
Yes, it was.
Personal best. And how about the triple jump?
36 on Thursday.
36 on Thursday. I mean, and if you get to the state meeting, have you already qualified for the state meeting already?
Yes.
So when you get to in both events?
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? Both events at the state meet?
Maybe, possibly.
You're thinking about it. Right? I think you've probably seen what happens at the sectional and qualifier to see what you do better and then how you handle that. Yeah. But just in terms of those events, what's the secret to really doing well in both of them in terms of your preparation and stuff? What's the key to it?
Well, I get mad and
Why do you get mad?
I just use my energy and my momentum and my adrenaline to really get me through it. And when I mess up, it's okay to mess up. So that just makes me want to do better, and it drives me, and then I just get angry. So
I mean, some people will tell you that being mad is not the way you want to approach things. You have to have a clear mind and be positive and all that. Yeah. But anger in your case works, doesn't it?
Yes. I'm not angry at people. I'm I want to do better and angry at myself. You can do this. You're better than this.
All right, Hulk smash.
Yeah.
Hulk smash. Okay. Now, Ann, I mean, we're going with you, and you are part of a really good relay team. You have you and Marissa's in it. I mean, then who else is? First of all, who are the others that do the relay, the 4x100, for example?
Amina Sinclair and Haven Hicks.
Now, it's a pretty good group. I think they've done. What was your fastest time this season? There,
49.6 something.
When was that done?
That was Thursday.
Oh, that was Thursday. So you managed to get these personal best times here late in the season. How much time do you spend working on the handoffs? Because in a relay, the speed's nice, but if you don't get the baton pass right, you're in trouble. So how much time do you work on the passing, on the baton passing, literally?
Probably now as the season has progressed, probably at least every day almost. We try to work at least something on it, but if not, 3 times a week.
Now, we wanted to have Lauren. I mean, we wanted to mention some of the other famous people. Lauren Fredette, for example, did the pentathlon. I mean, can you imagine any of you trying to pull off 5 events in one day? Try to. I mean, any of you could. I mean, Amina, you do sprints and jumps, but can you imagine trying to do distance running and throwing events too?
No, could not. Distance is a whole other ball game.
I mean, different mentality, different everything. Yes. But she was a pentathlon champion. And then you've got the Sinclair sisters, I believe. They're sisters, Amina and Amani. Amani's a thrower, and she's had some of the best throws in the season. But Amina, who had the 5.6 high jump the other week on Thursday night. Were you all watching that? I mean, were any of you watching that?
No, because we do a lot of events, so it's hard to time going to see others.
Yeah, but 5.6 is a pretty good long jump, because high jump, because no one else was doing 5 feet the whole event. Was that personal best for her?
Yes, she did very well.
So how special are they? I mean, you don't have sisters who are usually pushing each other like that. Tell me how special they are. I mean, go ahead, Dan. Go talk about them.
Well, it's just funny to see them together because they're just both complete opposites, but they
Why are they opposites?
like Amina's more like outgoing and loud, and Amani kind of is quieter and more introverted. But it's just funny to see them interact because they both do support each other, but they're just like complete
I
opposites.
would think that Amani, with a thrower, I know that with throwers, when they unleash the shot or the discus, there's often grunts going on. Does Amani do that?
I don't know. I've honestly never seen her throw before.
But I would wonder if that's the case. Because I hear the grunt, and the men and women, by the way, it's both the same. They all do the same. But this season, you've also been in some big competitions. You've run at the Laux games down in White Plains in the last couple. Were some of you down at the Laux games? I think it was. Some of you went down there.
Amina and Lauren did.
Other teammates of ours did.
Yeah, they've been at the Laux games and other events. Jenna, you were at some of the events too. You went to the Hilton, right?
Yeah, I ran on the Glavin 3000.
And you and I think it was Nooner, I think too.
Yep.
Both of them.
Yeah.
They've all run well in those big events. How does that make you better? For long term, not just facing the same old competition, but facing people from across the state.
I like going against a lot of competition. It's better getting out there to race against other competitors. So it definitely helps me run faster.
And how much does it help that you have so many good runners all around you with Matt and Nooner, and just mention some of those others that are runners, like Nooner, and who are some of the others?
Even on my own team, we have a lot of great runners, so doing workouts with them helps a lot. And just all New York is really competitive, so I think that just keeps driving up the competition and dropping the times. So that makes it really nice to run fast.
And then I'll ask you this question. How much of the quality of this team is simply a reflection of you having to face, just in this area alone, really strong teams at CNS, FM, Baldwinsville, who are going to push you all the time anyway?
Well, we always go against them all the time, and so we get to know the other girls on those teams and we kind of figure out what we have to do in order to do our best against them and beat them and everything. And it's nice competing against them because sometimes them, you're friends with them on the team and stuff, but it's good to get out of the area and stuff.
So how do you mentally prepare so that each of you, Amina Marissa, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But how do you make sure Marissa and Jen and the others that you peak just in time for not to say qualifier, but also the state champion just in a few weeks? Is there a step-by-step process, or what's the mental approach?
I just work harder as I push myself. I really like to work out and a lot of leg stuff. So I push.
How far do you think you can take long jump? You usually talk about what you've done so far. How far can you go long jump? What's your goal in terms of distance, in terms of how far you can go long and triple jump?
My goal this year for long is 19, and then for triple, I hope to get better than my PR from indoor.
What was your PR in indoor this year?
36.9 last year.
And you've gone past that, haven't you already?
Not yet.
Not yet. Oh, that's something to aim at. That's for sure. We head to next week in the sectional championships. Do you think you're as equipped as you ever will be, given that you have teams, strong throwers at RFA, strong distance runners at FM, and people and other things that you can just take them all down? Just talk about that, or Jenna, whatever.
I think this is the strongest team we've had in a very long time. All around, we have a lot of good distance, sprinting, throwing, jumping. We have it all around, so I think we have a really good shot of doing really well at sectionals.
In the end, how many athletes do you think will end up at the state championships? How many of you? How many do you think will get there?
A lot of the girls have qualified, so
yeah, just hoping to send as many as we can. I know a lot are going to state quals, so just hope it goes well there.
Yeah. And how does this program? You see, who are some of the young athletes in the program that are really going to be hearing about in the next couple of years?
Haven Hicks.
Oh yeah, she's already a sprinter and specialist and all that.
She's gonna be great. Her PRs are already up there, and she works hard, and she's sweet and down to earth. So.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, shout outs real quick. Let's go around the board. Phil, let them.
So we got some shout outs. Who you guys a shout out to? First, you, Jenna.
I'll give a shout out to my dad because he told me to before I
came. Good move. You can go home now. And Annie, how about me?
I'll probably give a shout out to my little sister, who is also on the track team, and she's only a freshman, but she's definitely getting better this year.
Another one of those future stars. And
I give a shout out to my mom. She's my biggest supporter.
fantastic. Great.
All right, give your girls a big round of applause. Thanks for coming to the studio. Incredible job. All right, so we're basically out of here. This has been
Right.
fun.
Been a good show.
We'll see you next week. I think we're going to do the same thing, 11 to 12, Phil. So,
All right.
girls, thanks for coming to the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Blake, want to say anything before we bounce?
Yeah, we got pictures.
Want to do a quick shout out? All right, we'll be right back.
Next week.
I think maybe next. We're going to have maybe one more minute when we come back.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ESPN Radio 97.7 100. 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 Radio 97.